Out of there, the government of India today said that there will be no fresh dearness allowance to government employees and also to pensioners, something which is intended to save the government a lot of money. And this has sparked off a bit of a debate, which I'm going to talk about a little bit over the next couple of minutes. Many people have said, look, that's good. You need austerity. The government must tighten its belt in the time of a crisis like this, and especially when you're having a lot of financial problems. But others are not entirely sure about that because, let's face it, that's not what many economists are advising, austerity or belt tightening, not in this situation. If you take a look at what a number of countries across the world, for example, are doing, far from austerity, they are announcing stimulus packages, economic stimulus packages. In most major countries, that stimulus package goes anywhere from 5% to 20% of GDP. Just last night, the United States, another $300 billion, way more than that, for small businesses and for others, another economic stimulus. Now, people who are criticizing the government for what it's doing right now and why it's not coming up with an economic package are really looking at this man, John Maynard Keynes, the person behind Keynesian economics, the person who, in essence, came out with a solution to the Great Depression way back in 1936, and one of the most influential economists of all time. Now, Keynesian economics would essentially say that any time you have weak demand in an economy, which is the situation right now, you should have a fiscal deficit. That's the way to have full employment. That's the way to preserve jobs. That's the way to keep the economy growing. Have a fiscal deficit, spend money, government, or cut taxes, or both. Now, critics of this will say that, yeah, but if you have a high fiscal deficit, there could be downgrades by rating organizations, or you could have inflation and high prices. However, it has to be said that this is the time of an unprecedented global crisis. Will rating agencies really downgrade India because we've taken extraordinary measures to deal with an unprecedented situation? Every other country is doing the same thing? Perhaps not. And when it comes to inflation, hey, oil prices are down. There's a deflationary situation everywhere. Are you likely to have runaway inflation again? Perhaps not. So the net conclusion of all of this, which many economists are saying, don't think of austerity right now. Governments anywhere in the world, and from our point of view, especially the government of India, this is the time to perhaps think about a stimulus. That would probably be the better thing to do from an economic point of view. But this is what the government's done today, and we are still waiting for the package.
The Finance Ministry on Thursday decided to put on hold increment in dearness allowance for 50 lakh central government employees and 61 lakh pensioners till July 2021 due to the COVID-19 crisis. It is estimated that the savings on suspension of these installments of DA and DR of state government employees and pensioners will be rupees 82,566 crore rupees, and the central government employees and pensioners would be rupees 37,530 crore rupees. Thus, the combined savings of the centre and states will be 1.2 lakh crore rupees, which will help in fighting the battle against COVID-19 and its fallout. Fitch Ratings on Thursday slashed its FY21 growth forecast for India 2.8% from 2% projected 3 weeks ago, holding that the depth of the global recession appears to be more severe. Fitch Ratings now expects world GDP to contract by 3.9% in 2020 against 1.9% estimated earlier. Fitch said the rupee exchange rate against the dollar is pegged at 78 by the end of 2020. As opposition continues to attack the Modi government over the alleged lack of relief measures amid the lockdown, Sanjeev Sanyal, who is the principal economic advisor to the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, has said the centre did not want to give one big package unlike other countries. Sanyal said many medium-sized packages are likely to be announced and the response will be sooner than anticipated. The leading economist stated that the government knows this is a long haul and more pronounced responses will be needed over the next few months.
A $484 billion COVID-19 aid package was passed by the US Senate on Tuesday after Congress and the White House struck a deal to replenish a payroll fund for businesses and hospitals. The fund includes more than $310 billion in additional funds for the Paycheck Protection Program, designed to bail out small and medium-sized businesses. Apart from that, a separate $60 billion has been allocated for emergency disaster relief grants and loans, $75 billion for hospitals, and $25 billion to bolster a new coronavirus testing program. This latest bailout comes on the heels of a record $2 trillion COVID-19 relief package that the US Congress passed in March. The Indian Council of Medical Research said a total of 5,542 samples have been tested by 9 a.m. on Thursday. These tests have been done on 4,85,172 individuals. Meanwhile, out of them, 21,797 samples have been confirmed positive as Thursday morning. According to the Health Ministry, there have been 1,400 new cases of the novel coronavirus in the last 24 hours. Maharashtra continues to remain the worst affected state.
On a day when President notified the tough ordinance to deter attacks on doctors and healthcare workers, another incident of attack came to light in Delhi. A group of doctors and staff of LNJP hospital have alleged that a group of people who brought in patients at the hospital threatened and manhandled them when the staff asked them to wait for a while and maintain social distancing.
जहाँ पर हमें दिन रात कोविड से लड़ना होता है, लेकिन अगर इस तरह की प्रॉब्लम्स हमारे साथ आएंगी तो हमारे लिए बहुत मुश्किल होगा काम करना. हमें समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि हम कोविड से लड़ें या इस तरह की दिक्कतों से लड़ें.
Congress President Sonia Gandhi has said that the suggestions she gave to the government on tackling the COVID-19 crisis were acted upon only partially and in a miserly way. At a meeting of Congress Working Committee on Thursday, Gandhi said that the raj-heartedness and alacrity from the central government is conspicuous by its absence. She also noted that farm labourers, migrant labourers, construction workers and those in the unorganised sector are facing acute hardships. The nationwide lockdown in India, which started about a month ago, has impacted nearly 40 million internal migrants, the World Bank has said. In a report released on Wednesday, the bank said about 50,000 to 60,000 moved from urban centres to rural areas of origin in a span of a few days. According to the report, the magnitude of internal migration is about 2.5 times that of international migration. Thus, the COVID-19 containment measures might have contributed to spreading the epidemic, the report said.
Days after US said it would freeze funding, China on Thursday announced that it will donate another $30 million to the World Health Organization to help in the global fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Beijing had previously donated $20 million to the WHO. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said the contribution to the UN agency reflects the support and trust of the Chinese government and people for the WHO. Last week, while announcing the funding freeze, US President Donald Trump accused WHO of covering up the seriousness of the outbreak in China before it spread.